Hey friends, did you miss us? So this is our first official drop in quite a while, but I just wanted to give a, not a warning, but just an FYI. This episode's going to start with our normal intro, but it's actually with my high school best friend, Chelsea, not Lauren. So you'll hear the normal intro, but just know that the other person that's actually in this episode is Chelsea. Either way, it's an amazing episode, so we love you guys. Stay tuned. I'm Ashley.
I'm Lauren, and this is
Whispers in the basement. Okay, that wasn't that bad, was it?
No.
It felt like it was vibing. I was vibing with you.
Well, I'm new to all this, so.
Yeah. So I guess I will just start off by saying we took a sabbatical. Hiatus? Same thing, right?
I mean,
essentially.
Yeah.
Lifed.
Little break.
Breaky. Lorraine Delanore moved. Not far, but she's living her best farm life.
With all the beautiful trees.
And chickens. Like, legit, Chick's got a lot of chickens. Chick has a lot of chickens. So we're revamping, and this in front of me is Chelsea. It's not Lauren, it's Chelsea.
Hello.
And Chelsea's my high school best friend, so there's a lot of really funny stories that we have stuffed in our pockets. They're funny.
They
are funny stories.
Funny.
Yeah. Like the good, bad, and the ugly. Speaking of ugly, we got to talk about this picture you sent me the other day. And you said, she sends me this picture circa like 2001, maybe?
Oh my God, the one, yeah, with the comforter.
Yeah, and she's like, I miss this comforter. So for people that grew up in like the 2000s, it was like a well-known comforter. It had like the beach scene on it, and it was like purples and oranges and blues. It was a beautiful comforter, don't get me wrong. And she was like, I miss this comforter. And my response was, my question is, where the fuck are my eyebrows? Because they didn't exist. They weren't there. And Chelsea says, it's probably like my tits back then. I said, yeah, non-existent. They were like Nike swishes.
Yeah.
Like upside down Nike swishes.
Yeah. I mean, some would say something else, but just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Don't tell my mom that. She shaped those things for me. I remember distinctly having multiple conversations with her and saying, like, getting very upset and saying, like, Mom, my eyebrows, they don't fit my face, because they are like they're like the picture frame. They're like, they frame your face, right? So when they are off whack, your whole fucking face is off whack, and my whole fucking face was off whack. And she was like, Ashley, your eyebrows are fine. And I was like, I don't think so. Fast forward like 20 years, and they weren't fine, because I had to have the motherfuckers tattooed on. Because and it's not plucked, it's tweezed. Mm-hmm. She over tweezed them, and they never fucking grew back.
Wasn't that the going rate back then, though?
I mean, I guess. I was watching The Mask the other night, and Cameron Diaz, that was also back in the day of like the super thin eyebrows. And I made the comment, I was like, okay, Home Slice pulled the thin eyebrows off like perfectly. For those of us that couldn't, though, it was a sad story.
Well, mine never grew back, so. Sorry, Jackie, I didn't mean to make fun of them.
Mine didn't either, but that's why I went and had them tattooed on, because, the picture frame to your face. So the hope is that this becomes a thing again, and maybe bigger and better than ever. We hope so. Chelsea's looking at me like, I committed to this? Did I commit to that, really, Ashley? Or are you just making shit up?
Well, yes.
We committed.
We committed.
Sort
I
of.
Should be committed.
Oh, same sister soul.
Grippy sock vacation.
Have you seen the grippy sock high heels?
No.
So it's like a grippy sock on your tippy toes. On your tippy toes with like a prescription bottle as your heel.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the grippy sock heels. You know?
I walk like John Wayne in high heels. So like,
I need a fair warning if you're gonna make me laugh like that again, because everybody that's listening is probably like, my fucking eardrums are bleeding, Ashley.
I keep clearing my throat because
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't either.
Guess it's a nervous tick.
So this is gonna be a short episode actually, because I have like it's like an introductory to introduce Chelsea.
Okay.
And to start it up again. And
Vroom, vroom.
Party starter. And yeah. Maybe we should also video these things because the shit that went down. Also, it took us forever to get to this point because Ashley's laptop was being ghetto-rific and not working. So I'm currently working off my child's laptop that has all of my shit downloaded on it now. Sorry, Memphis. I'll figure mine out and I'll uninstall everything. Maybe. That's what I tried to do with the other one, and I think I just broke it. So I don't really know. But yeah, it was just to have like funny story time and introduce you. And I have a small mini-episode on an unsolved. Well, it's solved now.
Ooh.
It was unsolved. Solved now. But before I get started, do you want to say anything about yourself, Chelsea?
Do I have to say it like that, Ashley?
Chelsea, do you have anything to say about yourself?
I am pretty boring person, so there's that. I mean, I shouldn't.
Really funny person, though.
Sometimes.
I mean, you've made me laugh to the point that I think I've pissed myself and wheezed, and there's not a lot of people. Are you crying?
Yes, there's no crying in baseball. I am stay-at-home, work-from-home mom. We run a business called Rabbit Media. We build websites and do marketing and those kinds of things. My husband and I do that. I got 3 kids.
The oldest happens to be my youngest best friend, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah. It's, the circle of life.
I was getting ready. I'm in one of those ADHD moods, like whenever somebody says something and I want to follow it up with a song. So I was getting ready to say, and isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Echolalia. Isn't that what that's called?
Yeah.
Like, it's up to you. You do it with a song.
Yeah.
Like when someone says a specific word, you just want to scream it out. Like, for example, side story. Down a rabbit hole. Colin said something one time. Colin is my oldest. And I started singing the Facts of Life.
Oh my God.
To him. And Jeremy's like, why?
Because it's funny.
It's so funny. He's like, you can't remember what you went into the kitchen for, but you can remember the song.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Verbatim.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
I mean,
sorry.
we were literally just singing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We were.
And before that, if anybody watched Nickelodeon and knows the show Kablam, we were singing the Angela Anaconda song. Because I was like, oh, we were going to end up in an alternate universe. Yes. I said, but we'll be 2D, not 3D.
Yes.
And you were like, oh, I said, yeah, like that show. And you go, Mario? No. But then I was talking about Angela Anaconda. And at the same time, we both just blurt out, my name is Angela. Hey, hello.
She was sitting here forever going,
welcome to my very own show.
How did that song go? How did that song go? And then at the same time.
Yes. Like, and we somehow pulled off like a really good Pentatonics version of what was that song? Oh, Stellar.
Oh, yeah.
By Incubus. Pentatonics would have been really impressed. Because the satellite noise you made, on point.
Yeah, right. They'd have to be 3 sheets to the end, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's pretty much about me. Just
Chelsea is a really big, she's really big into astrology though.
Yeah.
Which is a really good segue into something that I'm going to tell you about. Have you heard about the, I'm not that funny. Why are you crying? I'm really not. I mean, sometimes, yeah.
I have done nothing but laugh all night. We have done nothing but sing trying to get this thing to work.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, I'm one of those people when I'm doing things and there's a song in my head. So, like, Angela Anaconda, I was, the stupid laptop is a piece of shit. Why won't this thing fucking download? Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Okay, astrology. Chelsea's really big into astrology. Also, she's an excellent fucking tarot card reader.
Yeah.
Don't you short yourself.
Okay.
Don't you do it.
Okay.
She's got all the coolest tarot cards, and it's very eerie how on point they are when you do a reading. It's pretty dang good. But have you heard of the April theory? Have you heard of this? I actually have it on Google because I was going to educate you.
No, I've not heard of the April theory, unless you are referring to April O'Neil from the Ninja Turtles.
Okay, but they could have chose a hotter April, for real.
I mean...
I know it's the 90s, but come on, man. No ill will towards April. Not that she's listening to this, but still.
This is the podcast she picked out.
That would be
I'm
awful.
going to write her a nasty letter.
Yeah. But please don't. No.
Send it in a stamp.
So you're on the TikTok. I'm not. Like, I have it, but I don't get on it. I do the Instagram reels more, so I was not aware of this, but it is a TikTok trend, and it is a theory that the astrological signs actually, they don't start, I'm sorry, how do I need to word this? The first astrological sign is Aries.
Yeah.
So that your year actually doesn't start in January, it starts in March.
Right, around the witch's new year, which is the spring solstice.
Yes. So the April theory is that the month of April it's supposed to be the best month of the year, the Taurus, which, I mean, it is. Just saying. But it's because it's the time of rebirth. And that it's like when all the positive things and change and all of that stuff comes into your life. So the concept is tied to the symbolism of spring. And there's been, I don't want to say studies, but some studies that people's mentality changes in April. And they're more positive because your days are longer, things are in bloom, unless you have really bad allergies. You're probably not super happy then, but...
Everything smells like...
sea trees. Which brought us to the other song. There's 104 days of summer vacation. But yeah, that's the April theory. It's that's like that March, Aries, is your first sign. And that's like things aren't in rebirth yet, and then you roll into Taurus in April when your days are longer and you have more sunshine, and it's supposed to be the month or the sign of rebirth and positive and change,
right?
Good things like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that was called a theory. I just I knew that the spring solstice,
yes,
brought the quote-unquote witch's new year, which it leads you into the new year. And that's the reason, like, coming from a Capricorn, I get it, because I think January is just a cold month of suck.
That's why they're called crappy corns,
essentially.
Like, I love you.
Yeah,
we're both earth signs.
Yeah,
we vibe together.
Yeah.
But it is crappy. It's dark and cold and sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody's fucking broke after Christmas.
Yep. And back to school and...
Back to school.
Just...
Yeah.
Just no. So, like, yeah, I always just assumed that the new year started in March. Because that's the reason why your New Year resolution never stuck, too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because your next month is not a month of happiness and change.
No.
yeah, so that's the theory. I am not, like, you're the one that's up to date on all of this astrology stuff when it comes to, like, placements of the planets. And I always joke and say, like, oh my God, is Mercury in the microwave again? Because
it's drinking the Gatorade.
Yeah, because, like, shit's just wilding out.
To the 7th, actually. See, you know this stuff. Did I tell you that I researched what retrograde actually meant the other day? I did tell you this because you recommended a podcast to me and said, if you want to know the full thing, listen to this podcast. Right.
But yeah, it took me about an hour, way too long that I would like to actually admit, to understand what retrograde actually meant, because it's just an optical illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with where the planet aligns with us rotating.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a whole ass fucking diagram drawn out. And I called Lauren to my desk. I was like, listen, I just need you to stand here. Look at this diagram that I made. Isn't it beautiful? Yes. Colored and everything. And I'm going to explain this to you because I need it to make sense in my mind. Because I was today years old also when I realized that our planet, yes, it's like in orbit, and all the other planets are in orbit with us, but I thought naively that we were just like sitting in the universe, just like moving around the sun. Never once did I realize that we're actually like moving through the universe at the same time that we're rotating. That was a mind fuck to me.
Oh, you ready to? I'll mess you up just a minute.
Here we go.
Yes.
Blow my mind.
Neil deGrasse Tyson also does a podcast. So think about it. You know, you're moving through the universe, but the other planets are moving with us.
Yes.
So how do they not collide?
Yeah.
And because they continue.
And they don't move in circles.
Yeah.
Some of them move in like
up and down
and ovals, and it's just, it fucks with me, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like that stuff you're supposed to think about when you're like really fucking high. And I was just sober. I was stone sober. Like, I'm gonna draw this diagram.
Let me get my colored pencils.
For real though.
Or gel pens. I mean,
yeah,
we are 80s babies, 90s babies. I don't know. How would you?
I
mean, we grew up in the 90s.
I think it's more 90s for sure.
We were born in the 80s.
I do remember a lot of the 80s, but the 90s.
I blocked a lot of it out.
It was the 90s. That guy's on TikTok. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to have to find him and send him to you.
Okay.
So yeah, if you ever have any astrology questions, Chelster's the one to go to. She's the educated one on it.
I mean, I can research it for you.
She could probably, like, she could literally, also, like, she's so good that when you're like, this is my birth chart, I am this, this, and this, she'll be like, okay, not today, Satan. You can go away. I'm sorry, you're a double Gemini? No way. Nope. Get out of my house.
There's nothing wrong with being a double Gemini. It's just, you wear many hats.
You do wear many hats.
So,
and faces.
There you go.
You wear many faces.
The twins.
They are the twins.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
But they are also super fun people at the party. That's what they say. Whoever they is. Okay, are you ready for my unsolved? Was unsolved is now solved. Okay. That song still to this day.
Me too.
Creeps me the fuck out. Like when Unsolved Mysteries, when the song starts to play, I'm like, yeah, we're hitting the mute button.
Yep.
Till the song's done, and then I'll turn it back on.
And even to hear Robert Stack's voice.
For real. It does something it gives me the shiver me timbers.
The inflection in it. Oh.
But
he means so well. He does. He just. But it's like the Lion King. Mufasa. Say it again. Ooh.
That's legit what it does to me. And I can watch that stuff before bed and go to sleep like a normal person. I'm pretty sure that's a psychopathic trait, but I can't do that with Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh yeah, no, I'm Forensic Files all day long. That guy's voice.
I'm just thinking about it's giving me the willy chills. Yeah. Okay, so it was unsolved. It's now solved. Have you ever heard of the boy in the box?
Vaguely.
Okay, well, here we go. So one of America's most well-known unsolved murders was that of the boy in the box, or also known as America's unknown child. So it's solved now, sort of. And it only took a little over 65 years.
Whoa. Okay.
Kind of like the Lady of the Dunes. Do you know about the Lady of the Dunes?
Nope, no idea.
Oh, that one's a good one.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Do my research.
There was a lot of theories behind that one.
It makes me think of the Lindbergh baby.
Okay, you want to hear a little tidbit of info?
Yeah.
This house is so old that we were replacing a vent one time, like in an air duct, and I pulled the vent out because old houses, insulation and stuff, they would just use like newspaper clippings. I have a clipping from when that hit the newspapers. Found it in my vent.
Wasn't that the night?
It's like 1920 something.
I was gonna say.
Yep. Creepy AF. Just living in my vent. Now it's living somewhere else on display with all the other weird shit in my house.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like looking around like, ooh.
Buy the weird shit. That's what I say. Buy the weird shit.
Just say it.
This murder haunted the Philadelphia area for decades before today's DNA technology advancements helped at least determine the young boy and his parents. So, February 25th, 1957, in the Fox Chase neighborhood of Philadelphia, a local young man was checking his rabbit traps when he discovered a large box with the remains of a young boy in them. For fear that the police would confiscate his traps, this young man did not report what he had found. So it was a few days later when a local college student who was in the same area had spotted a rabbit running into the underbrush. Aware that this area often held animal traps, the college student stopped his vehicle to investigate when he also discovered the same large box. This is so mind-blowing, with a deceased young boy in it. He reluctantly crouched at the starting line. Reluctantly contacted the police to report his findings, but had only done so because there had been a recent disappearance of a young girl named Mary Jane Barker. She was 4 years old. She had actually gone missing the day prior to him reporting this. So authorities immediately arrive on site and locate a large box, which at one time had held a bassinet from JCPenney's. And opening the box, they found a young boy who looked to be between the ages of 4 to 6 years old, and he was wrapped in a plaid blanket. This is so sad. So, trigger warning. The boy was nude, but had appeared to be freshly cleaned and groomed. Police officer Elmer Palmer was the first to arrive on scene, and he noted that the boy appeared to have been dead for a few days. However, due to the cold weather, they were unable to determine the exact number of days since he had passed. Palmer later stated that once he opened the box, he thought it was a doll.
Oh.
But then he saw it wasn't. So his hair had been recently cropped and clumps of hair clung to his body. Police noted that the cut appeared to not be one of a skilled barber due to how close to the scalp it had been cut, which led them to think that the grooming had taken place post-mortem. Post-mortem. Can you hear my cat? Oh, he's going crazy out there. His nails had been recently trimmed, and there were signs of severe malnourishment. The fact that his nails were trimmed, that really bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is kind of weird. Like,
yeah.
I mean, was it in a cardboard box?
Yes.
Was it in a banker's box? Like, what kind of box was it? Like,
why
would you go to the extra mile, I guess, if you're just going to shove them in a cardboard box?
Oh, yeah.
That's just going to fall apart with the weather. Like, why would you go the extra mile to groom?
Exactly. Because at that time, that was in 57, like, DNA did not exist.
1957.
Like, yeah, there was no testing of DNA. I mean, they gathered it, but you couldn't test it then, so, yeah.
Wow.
It was a cardboard box, though. But anytime somebody says something about, like, death in their somebody's nails, it just makes me cringe.
Why?
I don't know.
Like, because do you think of, like, the Saw movies where they're, like, are they, like,
yeah.
against a wall?
Or, like, if somebody's, like, they were trapped in the basement and they could see, like, claw marks on the walls. I'm like, yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
or like when you're watching scary movies and somebody gets killed and like they hit the floor so hard that a nail pops off. I'm like, yep,
nope.
Can't do that shit. Not my forte.
The only nails I like in a scary movie, Freddy Krueger. And that one is borderline just because of the premise of the movie.
Oh, for sure.
Like, that one makes me cringe to think about it. But I like the way that he acts in that movie. He's very,
for sure,
such a sarcastic ass. And
he was an asshole.
Yeah. So.
This young boy, he was covered with bruises as well as scars, some which had appeared to be surgical, and the most prominent were located on his ankle, groin, and chin. He'd sustained multiple abrasions, contusions, a subdural hemorrhage, and pleural effusions, leading authorities to believe that his death was from homicide due to blunt force trauma. Sad. Authorities hadn't been notified of any missing children, so the discovery of this young boy came as quite a shock to not only the police, but also the local community. The investigation was opened on February 26th, where the boy's fingerprints were immediately taken in hopes of soon identifying this young John Doe. At the crime scene, 270 police academy recruits began the task of combing through the area for evidence. Among the pieces that were found were a man's blue corduroy cap, a child's scarf, and a man's white handkerchief with the letter G in the corner. None of which was helpful in locating any of the suspects or determining the identity of the child. Information was pushed out to the public, but still no one ever came forward to claim the child nor provide any useful information. Due to the magnitude of this case, the age of the boy, and no parents reporting any missing children, it was not surprising that the case attracted much of the media's attention in Philadelphia and the Delaware area. The Philadelphia Inquirer printed over 400,000 flyers portraying an image similar to that of the child to distribute along every gas bill that was given to each home within the city. Concurrently, the police force had also distributed a post-mortem photo of the boy fully dressed and in a seated position, so it looked like what he looked like in real life, in hopes to stir up clues or lead to calls pointing toward a suspect or family member. All efforts from not only the media, but also locating any family members or suspects behind his death. The police, of course, had their suspicions around the boy's life and the very apparent cause of his death, but linking him to anyone proved rather difficult. The young boy was placed in a grave in Potter's Field, to which he was reburied in 1998 at Ivy Hill Cemetery in a section by Philadelphia. The plot was donated by the cemetery, and the coffin, headstone, and funeral service were donated by the son of the man who had originally buried the boy in 1957. The reburial of him brought forth a lot of media coverage, and the public attendance was fairly high considering the length of time that had passed. The city residents continued to keep the grave decorated with toys and flowers. So, years that followed the boy's death opened up several theories surrounding who he was and the ending to his short life. Police checked the local orphanages, childcare institutions, and hospitals, but still nothing surfaced on who he was. One theory that did surface was that he was a Hungarian refugee who came back to the U.S. after the country's revolution and was said, this one's so wild, was said to be the son of carnival workers. Yeah, who had a slew of children die under strange circumstances. Another theory was that he was the son of a younger female who was the stepdaughter of a woman who ran a nearby orphanage. Police looked into this one a bit more, thinking that this young woman had beaten and killed the child out of fear of being exposed as an unwed mother. This theory never panned out, and nothing ever came further of it. But because there wasn't any evidence suggesting that was even a possibility. The most notable theory, or at least the one that I've heard about and the one that you can find the most information on, is the woman known as M, or Martha. So in 2002, a woman identified as Martha came forward accusing her mother of acquiring a child and killing him. She stated that her mother and father had purchased a boy who went by the name of Jonathan from his birth parents somewhere near the summer of 1954. Shortly after the boy was brought home, he was beaten to death and abandoned inside a box.
Who does that?
It's crazed people. Oh. Crazed. This theory was quickly dismissed. Police actually interviewed residents who lived in the area at the time, and no one recalled a young boy being anywhere near the home. And they were also deeply troubled by the accusation due to a history of mental illness with Martha. So, repressed memories.
From the corner of her mind, apparently.
Yeah.
Barbara Streisand.
We're in a song thing today.
And this is who we are as people. I want to touch on one thing, though, that you said.
Go for it.
They put it on electric bills.
Gas
How
bill.
smart is that? Like,
I would have
gas
never.
bills.
Because it was...
Milk cartons when we were young.
Yeah, so...
Wasn't that 83?
I was going to say the milk cartons came around in, like, the 80s.
Yeah, it was a young...
Was it a girl?
It was a young girl.
Yeah.
There's a Netflix documentary on it.
Yeah.
Girl on the milk carton.
Yeah.
So, that just blows my mind. Like, that is super smart that they would do that. Like, obviously,
would have never
newspaper,
thought.
Yes. But,
for sure.
But, yeah.
Yeah. So, at the beginning I told you this is all unsolved. It's kind of true, it's unsolved. But in April of 2019, the Philadelphia court granted a team of investigators the approval to exhume the body of the child to apply modern DNA analysis in hopes to determine at least his identity and trace down his family. Investigators used hair comparisons, x-rays, and footprint analysis. And they successfully located the boy in the box, his mother and father.
Sweet.
Both of which were deceased.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. He has living siblings. However, out of privacy, the authorities never released their names. So no charges were ever filed. But in the end, he was given a name, and his name is Joseph Augustus Zarelli. And he was 4. Don't know the full story or details as to what the heck and Bob happened. But yeah, blunt force trauma, and at least he has a name on his headstone now.
That's great. Is that like I wonder if that was a 23andMe or an Ancestry.com thing, like where they were able to get that kind of DNA.
Oh, yeah. I thought the same thing while I was researching it because, I think people that do at least I joked about it, like, maybe I'll find some weirdo that I'm related to. I did not, but, yeah, I think a lot of people think that when they send their stuff in, or that or they'll, you hear the whole, I don't want to give the government my DNA, all that stuff.
I used to say that a lot, but I mean,
they're gonna get it if they want it. They'll go through your trash cans.
I was going to say, think about it, because I mean, I'm a smoker, so like smoking a cigarette. I mean,
they're gonna find it.
My DNA is all over Randolph County, sticking the cigarettes out the window. So
my DNA is also in a lot of places too. So.
I touch everything. You're not gonna ever murder me.
If you know, you know. You might find my blood on a wall somewhere. Who knows? Yeah. So that's the story of the boy in the box. But
I've never heard that.
This brings me to another thing, because you said something about the milk carton on Netflix. Did you rewatch the Manson thing?
No, I never.
You've got to watch it.
I know. I started it.
There's a book about it too.
Is it? I don't read.
There's an audio book about it too. I don't listen either.
I do listen.
We listen and we don't judge. No, we listen and we judge.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. We don't judge.
No, she's not.
Depends on the person I'm listening to.
But no, I don't read the books. I do the audiobooks. I don't read the books. I like podcasts, those kinds of things. So, but I got part of the way through the Netflix documentary, but it's so hard with children.
For sure.
Under the age of like 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, I have to wait till they go to bed, and then when they go to bed, I'm like,
I'm going to bed too.
Tired. I'm going to bed too. So, but yeah, I have not finished it yet.
So I'm going to tell you what it's about, just so you know.
I started it, so it's about I know it's about his music career. I did not realize he could sing like that.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, so what it's about is there was a doctor in the. Oh my gosh, what was that? Haight-Ashbury. I was trying to remember what that section of San Francisco was called. Haight-Ashbury. That was the free love section. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm looking at you like, what?
What the fuck is Haight-Ashbury?
Like I disassociated, huh?
Yo, the lights are on, but ain't nobody home. It was the it was the hippie free love area of San Francisco, and he was put in prison, and then he got out and was given he was put on probation, and his probation officer was actually in a doctor's office with this doctor that worked for the military, and basically it has a lot to do with what they were like conducting experiments at the time, as like doctors and therapists to try to control people's memories and the way they think, to create people that will murder and not feel any sort of remorse for it.
Oh, okay.
So they were trying to like
create little sociopaths.
Yeah,
kind
of. So he would get in trouble, and he would have to go back to his probation officer. And normally, you get in trouble so many times you get put back in.
Yeah.
But he never got put back in. So they thought that there's this theory that he was actually one of the people that doctor worked with to gain control of his mind, and then also teach him the ways of how to control other people's minds and perform murders without feeling any sort of remorse, because that's essentially what they did. But there's like a whole book on it. It's just very interesting. Because also in the end of that documentary, they are interviewing Tex Watson. Who were the other ones?
The females.
Yeah,
Sharon was the
Sharon Tate was the one they killed.
Right, but I thought there was a Sharon that was a part of it too. Maybe. Squeaky. Nope, Squeaky's the one that tried to shoot the president. Squeaky.
That's her name. Yeah. I can't remember the other three, but there were 3 females, and then there was Tex. But anyways, they talk a lot about
Squeaky. No.
They talk a lot about when they went to prison, how they could still feel Charles in their head.
Oh.
Like that's how much control he had over them. I mean, it doesn't help that drugs were also a part of it, but still, like he just controlled their way of thinking, and it's fucking mind blowing. But you know how I am with those conspiracy theories that. I gobble them up, and I'm like, this is truth. And somebody's like, no, actually it's not. The earth is not flat. Oh, you're right, it's not. I am not a flat earther.
Okay, thank God. I was like, I've got to go.
I am not a flat earther, no. But yeah, definitely, if you have the time, if you have the time, watch that one. It's the documentary on Netflix about Charles Manson and his following, and it has a lot to do with the military and the doctors.
Interesting. I just got to the part where he was the singer, and they talked about Brian Wilson, or was it Brian Wilson?
Yep, because he hung out with at the Beach Boy house.
Yeah, and he gave all those girls.
Oh yeah, they were
STDs.
Yep.
So, anyways, just. That Brian Wilson did, not Manson did.
I mean, he probably did too.
Probably. I don't know. They had a commune, like a compound. I like that's as far as I got into it. So.
Yeah, he was actually a really good singer.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
The Beach Boys Brian actually used a lot of his lyrics and some of his music.
Oh yeah, and it made Manson very mad because he didn't get any royalties from it.
Which is exactly what took him back to Sharon Tate's house.
Yeah.
Because that's where
Wilson
lived. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, they had just moved. Mm-hmm. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yep.
Bad place, bad time.
And then Roman Polanski skipped out.
He did. Bye. That's what he said.
Catch you on the flip side.
Yeah. So watch that. It's crazy.
I will. I will definitely watch it. I'll finish it, I guess I should say.
Yeah, you might have to start it over again.
I always have to start everything over.
Replay.
I'm like, I've seen this. I know what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna go to the kitchen, and then I'm like, shit.
I was just gonna say that's how you know you've had a really good gummy.
What?
Because you get about like 30 minutes into it and you're like, oh man, I swear I've seen this before, and then you pass the fuck out again. So
Oh, well, I've not done that recently.
me neither. That's for real though. For real. I haven't done that in forever.
You are breaking things.
I'm looking for my charger.
Oh, yeah. Probably should charge
Maybe. Is this even the right one?
that. No, probably not. This is Memphis's computer, remember?
She said, not today, Satan. This ain't the right fucking one. Okay, yeah, well, that wraps up today's episode. You can find us where you get your podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, give us a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you can get an alert every time a new episode drops. So do us a favor and tap that app hard. We'll see you next week, friends.